when the bull actually hit me, I cried out, and she recognised my cry and brought the herd in to protect me. Daisy and the cows definitely saved my life.
How could a herd of cows save a farmer's life? Animal X investigates remarkable feats of bravery, death-defying acts performed by normally mild-mannered creatures.
I picked it up that night, and then the following morning it saved my life. It risked its own life to save mine.
Welcome back to Animal X. The psychic ability of certain creatures is well documented. But what of a life-saving kangaroo and even a herd of cattle? Time now to meet some unlikely animal heroes.
Animals are important to us. They're human counterparts. They provide us with companionship and often assist us in making our livelihood. On occasion, their contribution to our lives is far greater.
I picked it up that night, and then the following morning it saved my life.
Daisy and the cows definitely saved my life.
There's no doubt in my mind that animals have well-developed psychic abilities.
Animal X travels to Mydrum in Wales and then to Western Australia to meet two men whose lives have been touched by animals in a way they could not have imagined. Donald Mottram has been a farmer all his working life. The bond he had with his herd of cows served him well. When his life was hanging by a thread, his savior came in an unlikely form.
We had a young calf with an injured leg. My intention was to give it an injection of antibiotic. So I started herding the calf towards the corner of the field where there's two gates. Well, I got within about 40 feet of the gate and I felt this horrendous bang in my back. The next thing I know is the bull was actually on top of me. He wasn't goring me, but he was stamping me. Well, he was a young Charolais bull and he was a good 1.5 tons in weight. I can only remember maybe 1 or 2 minutes of the actual attack, because he not only stood on my chest and my body, he rolled me over and he'd actually stood on the side of my face, so all this was crushed as well. With Daisy is what we call a bell cow. I could go out into the field, call Daisy, and because we'd had hers for so many years, she would come to my voice and bring the entire herd in. So what I assumed happened that day is when the bull actually hit me, I cried out, and she recognised my cry and brought the herd in to protect me. The cows actually physically circled me in a tight circle. There was about 30 or 40 of them. And they just refused to let the bull come through. 3 of them actually died, stopping him getting through. My chest was injured because I'd had a blow of 1.5 tons immediately above the heart. So my lungs were filling up with fluid. I've got 3 vertebrae in my neck and my back injured. I shouldn't be alive, should I?
Nigel Etherington is a lover of animals. Over the years, he has rescued a menagerie of injured creatures. One was very quick to repay the favor.
I was driving home from Chidley, and on the way home I went around a sharp corner, and then just in front of me there was a lump in the middle of the road. And I stopped, and it was a young wallaby. So I picked up the wallaby, I stuck it in my shirt, and I drove home. I had a few head injuries, so I just sort of wiped its face clean and comforted it to stop it from stressing. And then I'd settled up for the night.
This act of kindness was about to pay dividends.
The next morning, about 6:30, the kangaroo was knocking at the bedroom door. The kangaroo was like rattling on the doorknob. I think it was like attempting to open the door, and when I woke up I found that the house was on fire and that there was a thick blanket of smoke above me. And I opened the bedroom door to find the wallaby standing there. So the wallaby was in the bathroom and it was right out of the way of the fire. It actually came across the fire's path, So it risked its own life to save mine. Because the kangaroo was wild, I let it go on the property. Now, it could have taken off or gone wherever it wanted to, but it's chosen to live down the back. I think it's just sort of like a little watcher. She keeps an eye on me, makes sure nothing happens.
How are these animal saviors able to recognize that their human friends are in trouble? Gareth Jennings is an animal behaviorist and respected author.
Well, owners, or any people, behave quite differently when they're in trouble. And it may well be that that completely different type of behaviour will focus an animal's attention. It's quite possible that they do perceive their owner as being threatened and will actually intervene in the situation.
Dr. Rupert Sheldrake has spent the majority of his career studying the psychic abilities of animals. Could this be the answer?
Some animals clearly sense when their owners' lives are in danger. There's no doubt in my mind that animals have well-developed psychic abilities. This telepathic contact, generally speaking, only occurs between animals and people with whom they're strongly bonded. There has to be a strong emotional connection.
Nobody knows how these animal angels are able to save lives. But what is certain is that their owners are not concerned with how they do it. They're just grateful to still be alive.
The mysterious tales of the animal world continue to fascinate and perplex us. After all, it's said there are stranger things in heaven and earth than we can think of. You've just seen some of them on Animal X.